Good afternoon, I'm David Brennan. Our top story. Senecans all over campus are learning the name Denny Morrison. The BC native has won silver in Sochi in the men's 1,000-meter speed skating event, and he did it because of a teammate's selfless act. That's Morrison there on the left. He fell during the trials and did not earn a spot for the race, so in stepped teammate Gilmore Junio. Junio gave up his spot so Morrison could race, he says, for the good of the team. Stefan Gruthius of the Netherlands took the gold. We'll have full Olympics coverage later in the show. Well, police are still investigating southeast of Seneca campus after a man was struck and killed by a taxi early this morning. It happened in the Danforth and Birchmount area. The man, believed in his 50s, was rushed to the hospital where he died. The collision happened just before 2 a.m. Police were already in the area. They were responding to a disturbance call. They now say the man was a suspect in an attempted break and enter. He was intoxicated at the time. Well, this next story is all too familiar to Seneca students. West of here at Sheridan College, they've held an emergency town hall meeting after several sexual assaults. Here at York campus, there have been 7 assaults in the past 2 years. This is what many female students face here at Seneca. During the day, the college is bustling with activities. However, after dark, stretches of unsupervised and poorly lit paths make students vulnerable to attacks. In cases both at Seneca and Sheridan, the attacker approached the victims from behind. Seneca and York University have increased safety by installing emergency phone lines on these pathways. They are also reminding students to walk in groups or call GoSafe, the campus security service. Well, yesterday's federal budget held a number of initiatives for youth employment, but can Senecans who are primed and ready for the workforce look forward to meaningful employment? Giuliano Fioravanti visited the Schulich School of Business. He has the details.
Well, the new federal budget is out, but are youth getting enough attention? Well, to clear things up with me is Wilson Fu from the Schulich IBBA program. Wilson, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. So, Wilson, I want to ask you, do you think youth today are getting enough employment opportunities coming out of school and into the workplace?
Well, personally, I find that a lot of students are moving towards the States. They're looking for ample opportunities available in the States, and I find that recruiters are not targeting specific schools in Canada, so it's pretty difficult for individuals looking for opportunities in the States to find that, especially with recruiters targeting specifically United States and schools in the States like Ivy. So Schulich definitely is not in their tier of targeted schools, so it's pretty difficult.
If you had a say, I guess, what would you like to see changed in policy to help youth find more employment? More working closely with the companies, I guess?
Definitely. There's a lot of opportunities right now with companies in Canada, but I want to see recruiters or companies specifically of Canada to come out from the States to Canada to target individuals here. So networking lunches, opportunities where executives come here, host case competitions, definitely would be something to increase the interactions between the two.
Thank you. That was Wilson Fu from the IBBA program, and students looking for jobs are going to have to wait and see a change in policy for closer relations to school. For now, back to you guys in the studio.
Well, internships are on the rise in Ontario, but are they easing the path for students between school and work? Gia Patel has the story.
A 40-hour work week sounds adequate, but what happens if you don't get a paycheck at the end of it? This is the reality of tens of thousands of young workers hoping to attain a foothold in Ontario's knowledge sector. What you don't know, unpaid interns are not protected under Ontario's Ministry of Labour, which means they're not subject to Canada's pension plan, workplace safety, or employment insurance. We spoke to students who said internship and volunteer work are 2 different sides of the same coin.
Internships should be paid because we're doing the work. Like if you're getting credits, I guess you can get paid a little less.
Iman is one of the 300,000 student interns working for free in hopes to eventually attain a paid placement. Internships have become increasingly common in the transition between school and securing a job. Often students are not able to support themselves for the duration of internships.
Sometimes you have to choose between the unpaid internship or your next meal.
Jim Carr, coordinator of radio broadcasting at Seneca College, suggests unpaid internships has been a trend for the last 22 years and should be looked as means to gain industry experience.
the turnaround is the fact that the interns have to take advantage of the internship. They have to take full advantage of, and that means take advantage of, and in the same sense that we're referring to the internships taking advantage of the students. No, turn it around, take advantage of the position.
Iman says her experience as an intern has been nothing less than valuable.
Well, I've been here a few months. Like, you're learning slowly. It's not really going to do much, but you need this kind of experience. I can't just go to school for it.
Others feel their employers are taking advantage of their desperation. While internships are a great step towards a rewarding career, a strict line needs to be drawn on how long the step should be. David?
Gia, what happens if a student is injured at their internship?
Well, David, since these interns are not covered under the Health and Safety Regulatory Board, they do not qualify for any WSIB claims at the workplace. However, students interning towards some sort of academic credit are under university or college blanket protection, which offers some relief in case of an injury. Back to you, David.
Well, Toronto is as diverse a city as they come, but barriers between cultures still exists. With over 140 languages and dialects spoken in the city and almost 50% of the population hailing from other countries, cultural differences are inevitable. But many in the city are embracing the differences that diversity brings. Some Seneca students have decided to celebrate by adding a little spice to the mix. Tamika Clark has the story of what students are up to.
These students are using spicy samosas to lure people in. They were a group of postgraduate students in the Corporate Communications and Public Relations program who decided to fundraise for a seminar by selling 75-cent samosas. Susan Kelsey, one of the organizers, tells me that the seminar will be for teaching communications etiquette, and they thought what better way to start that conversation than by using diverse foods. A group of students who swarmed the table told me that it was initially the great smell of the food that caught their attention, but that 75 cents towards the cause was more than reasonable for a nice, warm, crumbly afternoon snack. David?
And Tamika, what are the funds from these spicy samosas going towards?
The funds will go towards paying for the seminar speaker, as well as providing accommodations and refreshments for those who attend. Back to you, David.
Well, with the cold and flu season at its height, students who are looking to eat healthy without breaking the bank naturally turn to soup. But some store-bought brands can be high in sodium and additives. Luckily, food critic Mathis Bailey is here to stir the pot on how to keep your lunch hot and healthy.
With all the healthy choices bombarding our senses, like donuts, pizza, and burgers, it's hard to make a sensible choice. Even the soups are thick and creamy and loaded with unwanted calories. Perhaps you should consider making your own soup. It's easy, economical, and most important, nutritious. Here are some ideas. First, try shopping at the farmers market, held every Thursday in the Till building. They have fresh local produce marked at a reasonable price. You can pick up some kale, onions, mushrooms to make a delicious soup. Did you know that kale has more iron than beef, and it is great for digestion? And the soup is really easy to make. Just chop and saute 1 onion, add water, a cube of vegetable bouillon, and bring to boil. Chop the kale and mushrooms and add to the pot, and voila, you have a healthy, nutritious soup. Or for those of you that must have your meat, try making a healthy taco soup. Saute lean ground beef with garlic and onions, add a can of roasted tomatoes, 1 packet of taco mix, and a can of black beans. Beans are very high in fiber and can sustain the human body throughout the day, helping you stay full and energized. For health tips, I'm Mathis Bailey. Back to you.
Long cold winters combined with a hectic schedule can have a negative impact on students. Lack of vitamin D and physical activity can drag the brightest of us down into the dumps. Fortunately, health expert Christian Roderos has some remedies that will help us sail into springtime.
With the frigid temperatures and the snow piling up, it definitely means that we're in the middle of another chilly winter. During these cold days, it can get quite difficult for your body to adjust. Thankfully, there are some easy tips to ensure that you stay in shape for the cold. First off, drop the unhealthy drinks and go all natural with water. Drinking 7 to 8 glasses of water a day can keep your weight down and your energy levels will skyrocket. Second, make sure that you get enough sleep each night to refuel. A full 8 hours of sleep each night will leave you recharged after a tiring day of shoveling the driveway. Third, eat garlic. Even though it may leave you with a strong aftertaste, eating raw garlic will give you a stronger immune system, allowing you to fight off those dreadful illnesses. Fourth, make sure you eat your fruits and vegetables. The Canadian Food Guide recommends a daily intake of 5 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. This will help your body become stronger and have more energy. And most importantly, check on the elderly. There may be some elderly neighbors out there trying to shovel their driveway, or they may be snowed in. Make sure that they are okay and be there to offer a helping hand when needed. Follow these tips carefully and winter will blow away quickly. For Say News, I'm Christian Rideros.
Well, Black History Month is here, and the Toronto Public Library is using one woman's talents to get kids involved in a creative way. She's using what was once just a hobby as a way to bring her community together. Tamika Clark found out how.
When Amma Ofori graduated from York University with a degree in women's studies, she never imagined she would end up here. She's always had musical talent, but wanted to make an impact by teaching dance and drumming and sharing her gift with others, especially with youth in her community.
I've been teaching for 5 years now. I myself is an artist, so I've been involved in a lot of dance. I've been dancing with a lot of groups, and so I decided that one day I would like to teach children.
Today, she's an instructor at Ubuntu Drumming and Dance Studio, and the Toronto Public Library calls on her to teach kids as part of Black History Month.
Well, we've known of Amma and her work in the area for a while, and we thought what better way to showcase local talents during Black History Month than bring her and her amazing kids in.
Ofori believes music is a key part of exploring any culture's history in a way that makes it fun and easy for kids to understand.
Very important because with music you teach culture.
Parents who send their kids to Ofori's classes agree.
My daughter likes dance, so I think it's good to help her to foster and nourish that part of her culture that I think has been lost.
The Toronto Public Library says their focus is on providing creative learning environments for people of all ages, but they realize that when it comes to kids, the more creative, the better. Ofori lending her musical talents to help start celebrating Black History Month is certainly one way to do that. I'm Tamika Clark, Say News.
Well, if your routine this chilly winter has you hibernating like a bear, our weather specialist Shannon King has a forecast that could just wake you from your slumber.
Crawl outside and enjoy the outdoors again. It looks like Wiarton Willie may have been right after all. Winter is not over just yet, but I can tell you with some certainty that we will be heading into warmer temperatures throughout the week. Let's take a look at that national weather map. Starting at our home base here in Toronto, it's absolutely gorgeous out, and we can thank those high pressure systems for that. It's giving us a clear sky with scattered clouds that clear throughout the afternoon. Ottawa also enjoying the high pressure system, but again, we have 3 strong low systems, and that's giving our friends out in the Rockies not the best weather right now. But let's kind of hone in here and turn to our walls outside Seneca and see what our friends are doing outside. All right, well, lots of snow. These people look like miniature people because the mountain snow is piling up, and still lots of cleanup to do on the roads, lots of yucky salt, getting those boots that we paid so much money for completely ruined. But don't worry, the snow will be melting. So let's take a look at the current conditions in southern Ontario. Again, starting at our home base here in Toronto, it's a little warmer, -6. The coldest right now, our nation's capital at -15, but you can't complain with sunshine like that. Now, Sault Ste. Marie and Wawa are getting blowing snow. They're sitting at -9, and that's because of those winds coming out of the northwest. But overall, sunshine all across the board. It's nice to see that again. Let's turn and see what's going on in the next 3 days. All right, my friends, good news. -12 tonight, but you can't complain. It's nothing compared to what we had last week. And Thursday, sunshine back in our lives. -3 is the expected high, and it is going to get a little warmer, and then the weekend hits. It's going to get colder. Saturday, -8, but sunshine again. So overall, let's just be happy with the fact that Mr. Sun's back in our lives, and it looks like we are having a warming trend. But in the meantime, the weather outside may look like it's going to capture a medal, but our nation's Olympic athletes are looking at the silver lining to it all. Here's Andrew Jordan with sports and all the latest with the Sochi Olympics.
Canadian skier Alex Bilodeau is forever tied to the 2010 Vancouver Olympics. The rise to stardom for the skier came after capturing Canada's first gold medal in 2010. Bilodeau continues to prove today why he deserves to be atop the podium. The Montreal native joined speed skater Katrina Lemaidon as the only Canadians to win back-to-back gold medals. Bilodeau said this Olympics will be his last, announcing his intentions to retire from competitive skiing. Bilodeau's gold adds to the already impressive standings for Canada. Germany took top spot in the medal count today, winning 2 golds, one in Nordic combined and one in doubles luge. Canada managed to sneak their way back into second place with a little help from Denny Morrison, winning a silver medal in the 1,000 meters speed skating. There's been one question since Canadian men's hockey roster was announced. Who plays alongside Sidney Crosby? Coach Mike Babcock didn't let a single hint slip past this week. Crosby's teammate Chris Kunitz is currently penciled in to play on the top line. The first clues to the lineup came during Canada's practice, and after 2 days, it looks like we have an answer. Jeff Carter will be shifted to the wing to play on the top line with Crosby and Kunitz. The center has 20 goals and 17 assists this season with the LA Kings. TSN analyst Bob McKenzie said he wouldn't be surprised if the first line changed again after the first game. The team also officially announced Carey Price will start in net for Canada's first game against the Norwegians. Canada's first game starts at 12 p.m. Eastern Time this Friday. 30 hand-picked Addicted to Sweat fans last night got the experience of a lifetime, the chance to perspire with the material girl herself at the grand opening of Hard Candy Fitness in Toronto. Mila Ross was at the opening of the fitness center getting her sweat on with Madonna. Mila, what is Addicted to Sweat?
Well, Addicted to Sweat was designed by Madonna herself and her 29-year-old personal trainer, Nicole Winhofer. From dancing, stretching, and twerking, Winhofer says it has it all. Winhofer says Addicted to Sweat was created by Madonna, and it's based on actual dance moves she does in her daily routine. I spoke to Tom Jordan last night, who says it was the most liberating experience of his life. He was one of the lucky winners to dance with her, and he says Madonna wowed the crowd dressed in all black, and she was stunned with her amazing flexibility. Andrew?
Mila, what exercise tips does Madonna have for her fans?
Well, Madonna is 55 years old, and she's known for her amazing body, but she says she works hard for it. She says, find an exercise you love and do it every day. Don't give up, and then you can reward yourself with candy, hence the name Hard Candy. Back to you, Andrew.
Seneca's own Haley Wickenheiser stole the show today in the hockey game against the United States, scoring a big goal for Canada in the process. Canada was held to just 31 shots on net, nearly 50% lower than their 60th shot game average. The Americans struck first, but Canada had the last laugh. Megan Augusta Marciano scored a pair of goals to shut the door on the Americans. It turned out to be one amazing 27th birthday for the forward. In a sport forgotten amongst the Olympic festivities, the NBA All-Star Weekend is nearly here. Raptors guard DeMar DeRozan will be representing Toronto in New Orleans. Joining him will be teammates Jonas Valanciunas and Terrence Ross. Valanciunas will participate in the Rising Stars Challenge, and Ross will be defending his crown in the slam dunk competition. Ross set Twitter ablaze last year with his tribute to Vince Carter. DeRozan will be in the main event on Sunday, being the first Raptor since 2010 to play in the All-Star Game. Everything starts on Friday. That's it for sports. I'm Andrew Jordan. For those of you Senecans who want to get in shape alongside the Olympians, but think you can't, there's another opportunity for you to do so. Safa, how difficult is it to keep up with an exercise routine?
Well, Andrew, it definitely is really difficult, especially if you're a student. It's hard to keep up a healthy exercise routine. But look at Madonna. She's 55 and she's still kicking it. Her chain of Hard Candy gyms have opened worldwide, and last night it was Toronto's turn. Hundreds of screaming fans surrounded Madonna as she walked up to the Toronto opening of Hard Candy Fitness. She was rocking a knee-high skirt and a black corset blazer that revealed her black lace bra. Madonna said if dancing was not a part of her Hard Candy Fitness, she would not be there. She also said dancing is what makes her gym different. Shirley Temple has sadly passed away at the age of 85. America's Sweetheart was best known for her roles in Bright Eyes and Curly Top. She died from natural causes, surrounded by family and caregivers. Temple is the youngest person to receive an Academy Award. Time now for what's hot and what's not at the Cineplex. Superheroes were in action this weekend, and they were stacking up big at the box office. Zanita Mystery has the details.
Our favorite beloved Lego pieces are coming back to life again in 3D. The Lego movie stacked in $69.1 million. The movie is set on Emmett, an ordinary rules-obeying average Lego minifigure whose world suddenly turns into an epic adventure after he's mistaken as an extraordinary person who's meant to save the world from the evil tyrant Mr. Business with his fellowship superheroes. Runner-up was Monuments Men that racked in $22 million, starring the adored George Clooney and Matt Damon. It's a true story about a World War II platoon asked by FDR to go into Germany to rescue artistic masterpieces from Nazi and returning them to their rightful owners. And finally, Ice Cube and Kevin Hart will surely be taking us on a ride in their movie Ride Along. It's about a fast-talking security guard named Ben who joins his cop brother-in-law James on a 24-hour patrol of Atlanta in order to prove himself worthy of marrying Angela, James' sister. And that's this week's edition of Box Office. I'm Zanita Mystery. Back to you, Safa.
Singer Selena Gomez has checked out of rehab after a month of treatment. The former Disney star reached out to her legions of fans on Instagram, thanking them for all of their cyber hugs. Representative for Gomez says her problem was not drug-related. That's my wrap on entertainment. I'm Safa Minhas. While Selena Gomez is taking care of herself and her health, Senecans are taking care of their safety. David Brennan has more.
Well, we told you earlier about campus safety here at Seneca in the wake of the sex assault at Sheridan College. Students are warned to be aware of potential threats to their safety at all times. Buzz reporter Alyssa Logano hit the halls to find out what precautions students take to keep safe.
Thanks, David. Late night classes and poorly lit pathways can make students vulnerable to assaults. There are some safety measures in place, but are students doing enough to protect themselves from harm? I went around and asked students how they rate school safety here at Seneca. What they said may surprise you.
Well, I usually try to walk with groups of my friends, and if I have to leave at night, I try to take the best lit path. But usually I like to leave earlier because I don't have any late classes and stuff, and I don't know. I haven't found that there's been any kind of predators or anything on campus, so I feel pretty safe.
We are always stay in a group. Always, wherever we go to class or wherever we go, we stay in group always.
Some precautions I like to take are going home right away after class if I have a late class, and making sure I have a buddy after 9 in the village.
It's a scary thought. Like, I carry this around and it could blow someone's ear off, so that's usually what I do.
I guess I just try to pay attention when I'm walking to the bus stop, when I'm coming back from school. I'm pretty lucky, and my bus stop is literally like the closest go bus stop you can get to, so I don't have to travel far to get to school.
There was mixed reactions when I polled students. Many said they felt safe at Seneca, but questioned safety on the York grounds. David?
Alyssa, what are authorities saying is the easiest thing students can do to keep themselves safe?
Well, David, I spoke with North York police officer Jeff Steger, and he told me when students are on their cell phones or on their iPods listening to music, that it distracts themselves from their surroundings, therefore making them an easier target. Back to you, David.
Well, that's our show for today. On behalf of the entire SANE News team, stay safe, have some soup, and enjoy the Olympics. I'm David Brennan. Thanks for watching.